Hey guys, Josh Weidman here with TCS Investments. In today's video, I want to talk to you about minimizing your turnover costs. So one of the biggest expenses that you have as a landlord is when the tenant moves out. Whether they leave it in just the same condition as when they moved in, or it's totally trashed or whatever. There are a handful of things that you can do when you buy the property and you renovate the property before the tenant moves in that will help you when they leave. So first and foremost, first thing is get rid of carpet. If you're installing carpet in your rental properties, you are just asking for an ongoing expensive replacement. With our turnkey investment, we never use carpet because oftentimes it has to be replaced with every tenant. If a tenant turns over every 2 years and it costs you $1,500 to carpet a place, that's $750 a year in an expense. That's a lot of money. So no carpet. Number two, standardize your paint colors. Not just your colors, but your manufacturer and your sheen. So that when we go into a property after the tenant moves out, instead of having to paint the entire property for $1,500, $2,500, hey, I'll paint this wall. There's a hole in this wall, let's patch it up. We paint that wall. You know, there's handprints all over the staircase. Paint the wall of the staircase. It allows you to minimize the time and expense of getting that place ready for the next tenant. Some of the other basics here, tile in the bathroom. I love tile in the bathroom. Make sure you install a membrane beneath the tile so that if water's splashing out of the tub, it's not going to soak through the floor and through your ceiling on the first floor of the property. Tile tub surrounds are great if they are ceramic and the color is consistent throughout the tile. But if you're buying the cheapest of the cheap tile, a lot of times it chips and then you got that red backer that just kind of glares through. So it makes a lot more sense to spend $1.50 or $2 a square foot for a nice looking tile than to go cheap up front. And you might save you what, $300 on a bathroom. And that's something that's not going to look so great and it's going to have to be changed within a couple years. Tile floors in the kitchen, another example of an area that we put tile down, high traffic areas, things like that. The flooring that we use throughout a property is luxury vinyl tile or luxury vinyl plank flooring. Right? It looks really great. A lot of times it is, it's made for high traffic areas. It's got a 25 or 30-year warranty, and the best part, you can drop it in a bucket full of water or a tub full of water, and it's not going to have any impact on the product. So, using things like that, products like that, are going to add to the long-term viability of the property. And when a tenant moves out, you get to go in with a handyman or two and maybe 3 days of turnover costs and an expense of maybe $1,000, as opposed to going in and ripping out carpet and painting the place minimally. Now you got $3,000, $4,000 before you even did any work on the house. All right. So when you're going into your renovations, make sure that you are setting the right expectations on the exit, so that you're planning so that when that tenant does leave, whether it's next year or 10 years from now, you can minimize those costs. Additionally, before a tenant moves out, so all of our leases have a 60-day notification that the tenant's going to leave. If we get notified that the tenant is planning to leave the property, about 15 days before they leave, we're going to do a walkthrough of the house. This allows me to do two things. Number one, analyze what needs to be done in the property, and if I need to pre-order material or make sure that I get an extra door here or some drywall or a new vanity, I can have it ready to go on the first day of the turnover, as opposed to have to wait on a delivery or run to Home Depot or whatever we have to do and not have all the materials on site. Secondly, it allows me to identify if there's any major issues with the property that the tenant hasn't told me about or they've caused. If there's major problems, we can start to litigate that immediately so that we can recover those expenses before we're too far out. Okay, so those are a couple tips to minimize your turnover costs, to keep the expenses low, and ultimately to get the place ready to rent as quickly as possible so that you can put more money in your pocket. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining me. Till I see you again next time, I want to wish you the best of luck in your real estate investing.